Let's look at solving absolute value equations. For example, let's solve this equation for W. Now, if the absolute value of 2W plus 5 is equal to 7, then either 2W plus 5 is equal to 7, or 2W plus 5 is equal to negative 7. In other words, if the absolute value of A is equal to B, then either A is equal to B, or A is equal to negative B, which is what we're using here. And let's work with each equation separately. We'll begin with this first one here. We'll start by subtracting 5 from both sides, which gives us 2W is equal to 7 minus 5, or 2W is 2. And now dividing both sides by 2 gives us that W is equal to 1. And what about this second equation? Again, we can subtract 5 from both sides, which gives us 2W is equal to negative 7 minus 5, or 2W is equal to negative 12. Again, dividing both sides by 2 gives us that W is equal to negative 6. Now let's check these answers by plugging them into the original equation. So let's check. We'll start with W equal to 1. And when W is equal to 1, the question is 2 times 1 plus 5 in absolute value equal to 7? Or is absolute value of 7 equal to 7? And yes, it is. And what about W equal to negative 6? The question is the absolute value of 2 times negative 6 plus 5 equal to 7? Or is the absolute value of negative 12 plus 5, which is negative 7, equal to 7? And it is. So our answer then is W is equal to 1 or negative 6. Now, in solving these types of absolute value equations, and the right-hand side is a positive number like this, and we apply this fact, then we don't really need to check our answers, but it never hurts. However, with something like this, where the right-hand side is not a positive number, we must check our answers. We're still going to use the fact that if the absolute value of A is equal to B, then either A is equal to B, or A is equal to negative B, but we're just going to have to check our answers at the end. Okay, so applying this, we have that x plus 4 then is either equal to 3x plus 8, or x plus 4 is equal to negative 3x plus 8. But be careful to use parentheses here. Again, we'll solve each equation separately. Let's begin with the first equation. We'll bring the 3x to the left and the 4 to the right, which gives us x minus 3x is equal to 8 minus 4, or negative 2x is equal to 4. And then dividing both sides by negative 2 gives us that x is equal to negative 2. And now let's solve the second equation. We'll begin by distributing the negative to both of these two terms. That is, we have x plus 4 is equal to negative 3x minus 8. And now we'll bring the negative 3x to the left and the 4 to the right, which gives us x plus 3x is equal to negative 8 minus 4, or 4x is equal to negative 12. And then dividing both sides by 4, we get x is equal to negative 3. Now remember, we must check these answers by plugging each of them into the original equation wherever we see an x. So let's start with x equal to negative 2. The question is the absolute value of negative 2 plus 4 equal to 3 times negative 2 plus 8? Or is the absolute value of 2 equal to negative 6 plus 8, which is 2? And yes, it is. So negative 2 works. What about negative 3? The question is the absolute value of negative 3 plus 4 equal to 3 times negative 3 plus 8? Or is the absolute value of negative 3 plus 4, which is 1, equal to negative 9 plus 8, which is negative 1? And no, this is not true, because the absolute value of 1 is equal to 1, not negative 1, which means we need to cross off negative 3 here. Therefore, our only answer is x is equal to negative 2. So let's write that here then. Our answer is x equal to negative 2. And this is how we solve absolute value equations. Just be very careful to check your answers when that right-hand side is not a positive number. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.